If you base your relationship on sex, it's not gonna work. And if you mess around and have a baby, y'all gonna end up hating each other because you ain't right for each other in the first place. I want to share something with y'all that happened yesterday. And then I want to get into something that I feel like every man, every teenage boy and young man should think about before they go out and have sex unprotected and potentially bring a child into this world. As y'all know, I have 2 kids, a little boy and a little girl. The greatest things that ever happened to me. I ain't never loved nobody as much as I love them 2 kids. And I can say that wholeheartedly, unequivocally. There's no statement that has ever been truer. I love my kids with everything in me. They're blessings. I don't look at my kids as baggage. They ain't holding me back. I love my kids, right? And the one thing that I never want to have to tell my kids is I can't. There's one thing if my kids ask me for something, and I decide as an adult, as their dad, that no, you can't have that. But to be able to, for my child to ask me for something, and I physically can't give it to him, no matter how bad I want to give it to him, the fact that I can't give it to him, that's something that really hits you to the core as a man when you got kids, because you want to be there for your kids, especially coming from the environment that I came from. Pretty much, I would say, in the neighborhood I grew up in, right? Let's just say in my age group, right? Let's say the school bus pick us up. How many kids gonna be getting on that school bus with me in the morning? I used to ride the school bus. I would say there was maybe, let's say like 30 kids that used to get on the bus with me at my bus stop. I ain't even talking about the kids that I was friends with in school and all that, but just at my bus stop, let's say there was 30 kids waiting on the school bus to go to the same school in the morning. I would say out of all of those 30 kids, there might have only been like 3 or 4 kids that had a mama and a daddy at the house. So when they talk about these statistics of being so high with the single parent rate in America, I ain't got a problem at all believing that them numbers are true, because in my life, I've seen that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me get into my story. Yesterday, I had to go drop my kids off. I got 50-50 custody of my kids. So time sharing is, the way we split our time sharing is like my kids stay with me 3 nights a week. Then they spend the next 3 nights with their mom, and then we just rotate back and forth. So my rotation was over with yesterday. I had them for the whole weekend. I took the weekend off. It was my weekend off, actually. Took the weekend off. Me and my kids had a good time. We went to the pool, went to my sister's house. They got to play with their cousins. We went, did a little shopping, all that. My son went to one of my nephew's baseball game with my mama. Everything was great. Real good weekend. So yesterday it come time for me to drop my kids off, right? I pull up to my kids' mom's house. I get out the car, start getting their stuff out the car to hand to their mom. My son grabbing his stuff. Then all of a sudden, I see my daughter. She got this real puzzled look on her face. I know it's something wrong with her because I know my daughter. She a daddy's girl. So I said, "What's wrong, mama?" Immediately, as soon as I asked her that, she bust out in tears like somebody was trying to physically harm her. She just bust out in tears, like snot coming out her nose, real tears. I bent down to, get on her level and, hug and all that type of stuff. She was crying so hard, tears got in my mouth. Imagine that. Just dripping off of her face, tears got in my mouth. That's how bad she was crying. So I'm asking, I'm like, baby, what's wrong? She says, I miss you. I ain't even left yet, but she missed me. I'm just not dropping off. I ain't even pulled out the driveway and left yet, but she missed me. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to console her and everything. I tell her, baby, you want to go back home with me? She say, yeah. But this the thing, though. She say she want me to come get her tomorrow. She missed me now. She missed me. Right now, she missed me. I asked her, baby, do you want to come home with me? She say, yeah, but tomorrow. Why is my child saying that? Because she love her mama too. She want to be around her mama and she want to spend time with her mama too. So here I go, trying to console my baby and telling her, yeah, baby, I'll come get you tomorrow. I'll come get you. Don't cry, baby. It's going to be okay. Just stay the night with your mama. I'll come get you tomorrow. That's what she wanted, right? Guess what she say? Why you just can't stay here? Why you just can't stay the night with me? You know what I had to tell my daughter? I can't, baby. Me having to tell my daughter that made me emotional. When I pulled off and I'm thinking about that, it made me emotional. I'm getting emotional talking about it now. That's the thing. That's one of the things I really never hear a man talk about. We talk about the child support aspect of it, and we can talk about that because I had my experience with that. I'm on child support right now. But it ain't because I wasn't taking care of my child that I ended up on child support. So understand, deadbeats ain't the only ones that end up on child support. So let's go ahead and make that clear. I done seen somebody point that out in the comments before, trying to insinuate that I was some kind of deadbeat dude. I've been in my kids' life. I actually watched them come out of their mama, and I've been in my kids' life ever since. And I've been financially responsible for my kids ever since they first touched down, even before, because you got to buy the clothes and the bassinets and all that junk before. But anyways, that ain't what this video about. But men don't talk about the psychological aspect, the psychological damage that we do to our kids when we out here just having sex, not thinking about the consequences that come behind it. This right here, what I just experienced, is one of the main reasons why I'm not one of these guys that promote men just using women, having sex, getting what you want out of them, and going on about your business. I have seen the dark side of what can happen to not only your kid's mom, but what happened to your kids by you doing that. Because make no mistake about it, if you out here having sex with a bunch of different women, eventually you're gonna slip up. Now you can talk about plan B. I done seen skits, dudes talking about, yeah, go ahead and take this plan B. You can talk about plan B. You can talk about abortions. You can talk about all that. But understand this. The more sex you have, the more chance, if you being irresponsible, for you to impregnate somebody. And you need to not only think about the whole aspect of child support and all that, but you need to think about what your kids are going to go through and what they're going to experience from you being irresponsible. A man has all the control during one part of the relationship, one part of the interaction between a man and a female. A man has all of the control after the consent is, after you get consent. You have all the control before you penetrate a woman. After that, all the control falls in that woman's hand. And if you ain't having sex with somebody that ain't right for you, that's right for you, If you having sex with one of your one night stands and y'all don't really know each other like that, y'all ain't even in a relationship, you just seen her, she's sexy and you want some. If you having a relationship with a sexual relationship with a woman like that, somebody that you know for a fact you would not choose to be your wife, you are playing Russian roulette. Because if that woman end up getting pregnant and she decide, I'm not taking no plan B, and on top of that, I'm not having no abortion for whatever reason it is, if it's a religious reason, or maybe she just want a child, maybe she trying to keep you, I don't know what the reason would be for a woman to not get an abortion, because people got their whole, they own reasons, but if that woman decides she keeping that child, you are along for the ride. There's nothing you can say or do to get any kind of control in that situation. If the relationship don't work out and y'all end up having to go y'all separate ways, you're gonna have to spend a portion of your income to take care of that child, no matter if the child lives with you or not. Your child gonna have 2 wardrobes. Your child gonna have 2 sets of Pampers. Your child gonna have 2 sets of formula. Your child gonna have 2 sets. In some cases, your child gonna have to have 2 different birthdays. Because some of us have such toxic relationships with our kids' parents that we can't even stand to be around each other to last a full birthday party with each other. I experienced that for my own self. So believe me when I tell you, it's possible. Just think about all the money that's wasted from you having to buy 2 sets of everything. If you have a woman that wants to make you fight for custody of your children, that is not cheap. You're gonna have to spend thousands of dollars. Trust me when I tell you. I told you, I got 50-50 custody of my kids. People don't willingly go to court and ask for 50-50 custody of their kids. They would rather deal with that situation outside of the courts. You want to know why? Because it's expensive. And then number 2, in my opinion, if we go half on a baby, we should, even if the relationship break up, we should still share equal roles in the kids' lives. It's not a matter of being in control or anything like that. It's just purely from a standpoint of your kid is going to need both of his parents. The ideal situation is to be married and have your children with a woman that you have a healthy relationship with, and vice versa. Don't be like me. I'm trying to tell you. Do not put yourself in that predicament where you end up having a split family and you got to raise your kids from 2 different households and you can't get along with your kid's mom. Make sure you are dealing with women that you can see a future with. Get to know the women that you having sex with. Don't be out here just spreading your seed everywhere, because I'm telling you, not only from a monetary stance, like I said, just the situation that your kids gonna have to grow up in is enough to make a man should make a man never want to be in that situation. Because, like I said, man, my daughter looked like she was traumatized yesterday, man, and it's my fault that she going through that. Imagine how that made me feel. And I ain't just saying this because I just want to appeal to your good nature. I'm telling you some real stuff, bro. I feel like every child, I feel like every young man that's at a sexually active age needs to hear this type of message. Ain't nobody tell me this aspect of it before I had kids. I was 28 when I had kids now. I was a grown man, but nobody had ever said anything to me about what I'm talking about. The only thing I had ever heard about a man and a woman having kids is that you can end up on child support. I done heard men talk about child support in the barbershop all the time, I done heard men tell me, oh, I told my baby mama if she ever put me on child support, she ain't getting nothing else out of me. All that. That's the type of stuff I used to hear from men. Nobody never told me, the psychological aspect of having children out of wedlock and having children with somebody that's not right for you. So I saw a comment on the last video that I put out, the one I was talking about, the most important advice single mothers need to know about dating. I saw a comment in that video that made me feel like, yeah, I need to talk about this. On top of the fact that that situation happened with me yesterday, it's like it was perfect timing. Maybe it's a sign. It was a sign that I needed to talk about this. But shout out to you. I forgot your name, but whoever commented on that last video talking about and asked the question, why don't men talk about how important it is to guard your seed or something to that effect? You the inspiration behind this video. Shout out to you. But yeah, man, I just wanted to share that with y'all because it's important. And in my experience, men don't really talk about that aspect of having a child. So I wanted to be the one to give this perspective to my brothers and put it out there. Hey, this is the type of stuff that go on. You got to think about your children. I know we always see in the media or whatever the case may be, we always see the message of child support, custody, family court. The court system ain't fair to the men and this and that and this and that. But also you got to think about the fact that us just having the urge to have sex and not really paying attention to what we doing and having self-control and dealing with women that we can actually see ourselves in relationships with, us not doing those things, being careful about what we do with our, you know what I'm saying, causes a lot of trauma in these kids' lives. And we may not, I know for a fact that I never thought about that aspect of it. Before I had kids, that never crossed my mind, because I didn't have kids to think about that for. But we got to be proactive with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I feel one of the biggest contributors to the single parent rate being so high is because we really don't put a lot of focus on choosing the right woman to be with. We live in that lifestyle. Like, for one, let me just say this. In our society, sex is way too big of an influence on us. I can see exactly why the Bible say have sex after marriage. Because having sex before marriage, like just having sex, period. Once you have sex with somebody, it clouds your mind. Your ability to make good decisions goes out the window most of the time. When you got sex on your mind, you ain't, you not responsible. It's just like being under the influence of a drug. You will go out there and make some bad decisions when you get real horny. You know what I'm saying? Let's be grown about it. Everybody made some bad decisions when they was horny. You done called the ex that you know you shouldn't have been calling. You done did all of that in the past just because you had that urge. And it's done messed us up. And then on top of that, like that person that commented on that video said, we not having these kind of conversations that we need to be having. Men just out here, we in the music and all that, we popularize having a bunch of women, having a bad chick, a dime, she got a big booty, all that. We got to stop doing that, man. We got to be conscious of what we are doing when we out here having all this sex. And I ain't trying to seem like I'm holier than thou and all that. I'm telling you from experience. The reason I'm in this situation I'm in is because I wasn't thinking clearly. I made some bad decisions as far as letting sex control who I dealt with, and vice versa. Me and my kid's mom, if we really would have paid attention to what we had going on, we would have saw we would have saw that we weren't right for each other. But sex came into the picture too soon. Next thing you know, we just, hey, y'all know how grown-ups do. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. I hope y'all take something from this video. I know a lot of y'all always say that I only speak to women in my videos, but that's because most of my audience is women, you know. And I'm trying to be, you know, fairly, somewhat split in my messages or whatever, because I feel like men got a lot of work to do, women got a lot of work to do. And most of these platforms, they're split. They're either all for women and against men, or all for men and against women. So I just wanted to share my story with y'all, so that y'all can hopefully take something from it and think about that before you go out next weekend or tonight or whatever and go ahead and lay up with somebody that you know you ain't right for. Think about what could possibly happen. You know, because like I said, all the control is in your hands before you penetrate that woman. And if you with somebody, you having sex with somebody that you know you ain't right for, just cut it off. If you base your relationship on sex, it's not gonna work. And if you mess around and have a baby, y'all gonna end up hating each other because you ain't right for each other in the first place. That's all I'm gonna say on this one, man. I appreciate y'all for watching this long. Thank y'all for subscribing to my channel. If you ain't already did it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like this video, share this video, and I'll see y'all on the next one.